Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to the next session on Organic Chemistry 2. In this, we will be studying about the preparation of alkyl halides, Module 1. The third lecture, we will be covering the synthesis involving exchange reaction from acids, allylic bromination, and haloform reactions. I am Dr. B.S. Balaji, currently working as Associate Professor in the School of Biotechnology at Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. This project was sponsored by DTH Swayam Prabha, MHRD, New Delhi. The topics that we will be covering in this particular session include preparation of alkyl halides by the halide exchange method. The name of the reaction is Finkelstein reaction. And we will also be studying about the preparation of alkyl halides from silver salts of acid, that is Huns-Dicker reaction. We will also be studying about allylic bromination using N-bromosuccinimide, and finally we will be studying about the haloform reaction. Next we have a halide exchange reaction. So in this reaction, the name reaction is Finkelstein reaction. So in this reaction, one halide is replaced by another halide. In most of the cases, the lower halide is replaced by the higher halide. Say for example, chloride is being replaced by iodide. So this is the standard reaction which occurs. Let us look at the next synthetic method of alkyl halides. This is a halide exchange reaction or Finkelstein reaction. So in this reaction, an alkyl halide, that is a lower alkyl halide, is treated with sodium iodide or sodium bromide, that is a higher salt of the halide is treated in the presence of an organic solvent, basically acetone, to give the corresponding alkyl iodide and sodium chloride. If we start with alkyl chloride, we end up with sodium chloride. If we start with alkyl bromide, we will end up with sodium bromide. So this reaction is generally used to prepare the higher alkyl halides from the lower alkyl halides. In other words, chlorine and bromine can be exchanged with iodine to give the final product. Now, the biggest question is, we know chloride is a poor leaving group compared to iodine. Then, how does this exchange actually takes place? That is the biggest question. Because whenever a better leaving group is the one which actually leaves from the reaction or from the substrate and not the other way around. So, the alkyl halide chlorine is a very poor leaving group. That gets converted to an alkyl iodide where iodine is a much better leaving group. So this is a complicated question to answer, because as we know, an easy substitution is far better compared to a difficult substitution. So how does this reaction actually work? If we look at the mechanism, or if we look at the product distribution, we will get some clue. So what is the product that is formed in this reaction? We have a sodium chloride that is formed in the reaction. We are starting from sodium iodide in the reaction mixture. So between these two things, some specific properties in a particular solvent, especially in the acetone, helps in making this reaction proceed in the forward direction. So let us look at what is that specific property. So sodium chloride is basically having a great ionic character. This is the crucial thing for this particular reaction to proceed forward. So this is highly insoluble in the solvent which we are using. So even if we mix these two things, the starting materials, alkyl chloride and sodium iodide are mixed in acetone, even if the reaction proceeds only 5%, what happens is one of the product, which is sodium chloride, actually precipitates out or comes out of the solution. So making this reaction push forward towards the product. So that is the crucial thing in this particular reaction, because the reaction proceeds when one of the product is removed from the reaction medium. This is very similar to the Le Chatelier principle. So if you want to make the equilibrium reaction move forward, you can actually isolate one of the product from the reaction medium so that the reaction is pushed in the forward direction. The same principle is applicable here. So in this particular case, how we actually isolate or remove the one of the product is by simple insoluble nature. Sodium iodide is soluble in acetone, whereas sodium chloride is insoluble in acetone. So this physical property difference is mainly used for the preparation of this alkyl halide synthesis. So remember, one of the product, if it can be removed from the reaction medium in an efficient way, that makes the reaction move forward in one direction. So that is the success for this particular reaction. And this reaction is very simple to carry out. So that's the reason many synthetically useful reactions where the chloride has to be replaced to a better leaving group iodide, people follow this procedure and simply mixing the alkyl chlorides, the lower halides, with sodium iodide in acetone. So the one important thing we have to use here is the acetone what we use should be completely dry. In other words, it should not contain any water molecule. So this is a very important thing, because if it contains little bit of water and acetones, both the solvents are miscible. So if any amount of water present in this solvent, that is acetone, the sodium chloride will not precipitate out of the mixture, but it will remain in the solution. So that will not allow this reaction to move forward. So one important thing you have to remember when you conduct this reaction is the acetone should be completely dry. In other words, it should not contain any water molecules. So that is the most important thing for the success of this particular reaction. The next synthetic method is preparation of alkyl halides from carboxylic acid, and this has a name reaction which is Hunts-Dicker reaction. So let us look at what is this Hunts-Dicker reaction which can be employed for the preparation of alkyl halides from carboxylic acids. So the reaction is given here. The silver salt of the carboxylic acid is treated with bromine in the presence of a solvent, which is here the carbon tetrachloride, and the reaction is heated to give the alkyl bromide, and the carbon dioxide is liberated in this reaction and the silver bromide is precipitated. So this is the overall reaction. The silver salt of carboxylic acid is converted into alkyl bromide in a single step. If you look carefully, we have a RCOO group present in the starting material, and in the final product we have only RBr. So here one carbon less from the starting material is obtained as the final product. So if, say for example, we have 4 carbon as the starting material, the carboxylic acid is having 4 carbons, the product obtained will be having 3 carbons only. This one CO2 group which is present here is actually lost as a carbon dioxide gas. So this is the carbon which is lost from the starting carboxylic acid. So that is the reason this reaction always gives one carbon less from the starting carboxylic acid. Hofmann degradation and other type of reactions also gives one carbon less. So this is one another example where a carboxylic acid, silver salt of the carboxylic acid gives an alkyl bromide with one carbon less. And again, as usual, this reaction also follows a radical mechanism. So what happens is we actually form the carboxylate, silver carboxylate bond is homolytically cleaved to give you a carboxyl radical. So what you have is RCOO radical is formed in the initial step. So this RCOO radical loses carbon dioxide, a neutral molecule. So CO2 is lost, which gives a alkyl radical R dot is formed in this particular reaction. So when an R dot is formed, this R dot reacts with bromine to give RBr as the final product, and that also produces another bromine dot radical. So this reaction goes like a chain reaction, and two molecules of this R dot can also combine to give the dialkyl derivative, that is alkane can also be formed. So this reaction not necessarily gives 100% yield of our required alkyl bromide, but it may also be contaminated with some amount of the dimer of this corresponding carboxylic group, or the R group undergoes dimerization. So 2R dot combine together to give RR. So in other words, if we take 100 molecules of this corresponding silver salt of the carboxylic acid, the reaction necessarily does not give 100% of the alkyl bromide. Some amount, depending on the reaction condition and depending on the stability of the alkyl radical, some amount is converted into the dimer. So again, in this particular reaction, we may not get 100% yield of the alkyl bromide. So we have to use carefully chosen reaction conditions are essential to get high yield of the alkyl bromide by this method. The next method of alkyl halide preparation is basically the allylic bromination of an alkene using N-bromosuccinimide. Here I have mentioned it is a bromination, so we are using N-bromo derivative. It can also be iodo or chloro derivatives, so the corresponding N-iodo or N-chlorosuccinimide can be used in that particular reaction. Let us look the simple example of bromination itself here. So this is the allylic halogenation. Basically, allylic bromination is a reaction which we are going to look right now. In this case, an alkene reacts with the N-bromosuccinimide to give the corresponding bromo derivative, but the bromination does not take place across the double bond, but it happens at the allylic position. So if you see here, nothing happens to the double bond, that means the double bond is not at all affected, and we get a bromination in the allylic position. So this reaction is a little bit different reaction than the simple alkene addition reaction. If we look at the mechanism of this reaction also proceeds via the radical mechanism basically. So far whatever we have seen, many of the alkyl halide preparation reactions proceed via radical reaction. So this is the one you have to remember. The hydrogen peroxide mediated anti-Markovnikov rule, or the preparation of alkyl halides from alkanes, or even the preparation of alkyl halides from carboxylic acid, and this allylic halogenation reaction. So all these reactions involve radical intermediate as the crucial compound. So how the radical intermediate is generated? The NBS or the N-bromosuccinimide reacts with a trace amount of HBr which is present in the N-bromosuccinimide. That forms the succinimide is formed, the bromine. This N-Br bond is actually homolytically cleaved to give the bromine radical. So here we see the bromine radical is formed, and one radical is coming from here and the second radical is coming from the breakage of HBr. So because we have two bonds are there, so these two get cleaved to produce two bromine radicals, and this bromine radicals adds to this allylic position to give the corresponding allyl bromide. So in the last one, we are going to study about the haloform reaction. So this is the last method for the preparation of alkyl halides. The last one is the haloform reaction. So this is a very specific or a particular reaction which is applicable only for a particular type of derivative, that is chloroform, bromoform, like very simple haloforms only can be prepared by this method. This is not applicable for other substrates. So in this reaction, basically a ketone with the methyl group. If R is a alkyl group, it is a ketone. If R is hydrogen, it is a aldehyde. So either acetaldehyde or acetyl ketones, when reacted with the halogen in the presence of a base, preferably sodium hydroxide, and when you heat it, we end up with a haloform. And correspondingly, we also get the carboxylic sodium salt of the carboxylic acid is also formed in that reaction. The other products include sodium halides and water. So this reaction, basically the methyl group is the only thing which get converted into CHX3. So this reaction is applicable only for the formation of methyl derivatives only. Instead of ketones, we can also use alcohols. So the methyl substituted alcohols can also be treated with this particular case to get the corresponding halides. The reaction is given here. Let us recap the summary what we have studied so far. We had studied the preparation of alkyl halide by halide exchange reaction. So the crucial thing was the insolubility of sodium chloride in acetone was the crucial step for the successful formation of alkyl iodides, and the name of this reaction is Finkelstein reaction. Then we also studied about the preparation of alkyl halides from silver salts of carboxylic acids. In that particular case, the obtained alkyl bromides were having one carbon less than the starting carboxylic acids. We also studied about the allylic bromination using N-bromosuccinimide. Instead of adding across the double bond, in the allylic position, the halogen is added. This also undergoes by a radical mechanism. Even the Hunziker reaction also undergoes reaction by radical mechanism. The last one is the haloform reaction. So this is mainly using acetyl group should be present in the starting material. Basically, ketones having CH3 groups or alcohols having CH3 group or acetaldehyde can be used to prepare haloform. With this, we conclude this session on the synthesis of alkyl halides. We have so far studied 7 different reactions. In the first lecture, we saw about preparation of alkyl halides from alcohols. In the second session, we saw the preparation of alkyl halides from alkanes and alkenes, and in this session, we had seen preparation of alkyl halides by exchange method, carboxylic acids, allylic bromination, and haloform reaction.